return to where we started, that we have institutions, we have laws, but it's just exemplarily through sheer force of personal example to go through this and knowing that fighting corruption is not an overnight thing. It's not something you arrest somebody, get the media coverage, and you withdraw. In some society, look at what the papers today are saying. Was it the Bori case they said they spent 14 million pounds or so to prosecute? It's a very expensive business. It's a process that you need to stay the course when no newspapers, no television house will invite you to come and talk about it because it has withdrawn longest time, but you are keeping at it.
Okay, this is another one. Hospitality Champion says, two candidates, one saying introducing technology and the other saying there shall be penalties. Which way should we go?
Technology, or I mean in the elections?
In the elections amongst...
I wouldn't want to be drawn into that, but I think it's a foregone conclusion that technology is going to be used in this election. And people are collecting their PVCs, the card readers are being tested now with a view to being deployed. So let's, we are past that stage. The train has already passed.
He's in the fight against corruption, he's asking this. He says the two candidates, the two major candidates, one is saying he will introduce technology in the fight against corruption, and the other one says he will introduce a penalty. That's Hospitality Champion, that's his question.
The two have to go together. It's not an either or. Technology certainly can contribute in driving the anti-corruption campaign, which is about helping you get the candidates. And when you get the candidates, you have to punish them when they are found guilty for the war. So it's not an either or. The two have to merge, and I believe the candidates are learning from each other.
Mr. Aramu?
Yes.
As we wind down, the property forfeiture bill, Mr. Chukwuma says there is a forfeiture bill and people have forfeited property. What's your take? Has it been effective enough?
I'm afraid that has not been effective because what you've had in recent cases that we've had tried in court are actually some slapping on the wrist. And you ask people to go away and see no more. I mean, we have the case of the police pension fund. I mean, while the gentleman involved has allegedly pocketed some property, but what we are also beginning to see, I mean, I read some investigative reports in some newspapers and in some online media organizations, and what we have been told is that, look, a lot of things are still being held by this gentleman. And I think here we still allow people to hold part of what is accumulated through corrupt practices. It's still not a disincentive for corrupt practices. Yes, there is property forfeiture. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention names. I mean, we've had cases of Adam Messiah who forfeited some property when he was convicted. But then you ask yourself, what has he forfeited compared to the magnitude of what has happened in that country, in that state? And you ask yourself too that, look, we still have to go back to what Justice Bello advised against technical arguments in court and technical judgment. Because what we also had in that instance is technical judgment where you say you're doing some calculations and based on that, this person was looking for some property. I think the magnitude of forfeiture should also be measured, should be determined by the magnitude of the deprivation the people have suffered as a result of that crime, which it is. And sorry, maybe I will quickly touch on the issue of technology that Mr. Chukwuma spoke about. Yes, you can't separate technology and the other option that the other candidate is talking about. Because if you go to the Mbeki report, the recently released Mbeki report on illicit financial flow, which unfortunately Nigeria is suffering from more than any other country, we lose more than $12 billion every year to illicit financial flow, which are also coming from people, money being taken out of this country illegally. And what we are also saying is that, look, technology is also aiding it. Where money is being transferred easily without going through the proper channels, through the proper system, the relevant gatekeeper agencies have to have good understanding of how this works. So you can't separate the two, as you said, and they have to go together.
Okay, so your parting shot.
What I have for the two parties and all the role players is that we are actually on a threshold of making a fundamental improvement in our political process if we all contribute our quota in ensuring that these elections hold beginning from March 28. Whatever anybody is thinking, whatever any group is planning that will scuttle this process is not in their interest. Every role player in this, in fact, if this election holds today, both the winner and the loser have made fundamental contributions to the growth of politics in this country, to the growth of elections. And it's incumbent on all of us to keep encouraging everybody, to keep not allowing people to feel that if we lose this election, we have lost it. Just look at the two candidates, if we look at it. General Buhari had contested for 3 times now and was almost giving up. Look at the momentum. The president has been in office for 6 years now. Nobody can take it away that he has made contributions. So whatever supporters, whatever group that is pushing one or the other to scuttle this process or do one thing that will be adversarial to the process, I am telling them it's not in their interest, it's not in the interest of Nigeria. Nigeria must move forward. Nigeria is more than every one of us.
I think that's a good place at which to leave it this morning. We have been chatting with Mr. Innocent Chukwuma, who's the representative of Ford Foundation in West Africa, as well as a director of Action Aid Nigeria, who spoke to us by telephone from Abuja, Mr. Tunde Aremu. Thank you both for sharing your insights with us this morning, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot.
Sunrise will return in just a moment with yet another very interesting conversation, still in connection with the 2015 elections.